With the inventory shortage putting a squeeze on the affordability of housing and people having busier and busier lives, condominium ownership has become increasingly popular in all demographics and price ranges. So here we'll do a quick overview on the basics. First of all, a condominium is a style of ownership and not a type of building. You'll find condos that are duplexes, fourplexes, townhomes, and garden-style units which all have shared walls with neighbors. But you'll also find standalone units that resemble single-family homes and condominium lots where only the lot is part of a condo association. With the condo style of ownership, your unit is your own, and you also own a share of the rest of the property in common with your neighbors. The joint ownership can be land alone or land in buildings, and to facilitate this common ownership, there will be a formal entity structure and a written declaration which outlines the intent to share the expenses and maintenance of the commonly owned portions of the property. For most people, when figuring out what exactly you own and are responsible for, you'd start with a unit. In an association, which is a larger building or a set of buildings with multiple separate living units all housed together, which are sometimes called garden-style condos, the owner typically owns privately from the faces of the stud walls in. So the drywall, interior finishes, cabinetry, lighting, and flooring are all under the owner's control and responsibility. In standalone condos, the unit might also encompass the structure and exterior of the building, but might not include the land it sits on. In both models, there'll then be common areas that are jointly owned and available for everyone's use, such as green space and parking lots. Determining what's included in the definition of the unit for each association matters, because it can control who is responsible for upkeep or replacement of those elements. One condominium association might differ from another on whether or not a unit encompasses some pretty substantial things, such as roofs, doors, windows, and mechanical systems. It's good to know what you'll be responsible for repairing or replacing before you buy. Two additional terms you'll run into are common elements and limited common elements. Common elements are the parts that are owned in common and are for everyone to use and enjoy, so the building as a whole, or maybe the green space that's part of the property. The limited common elements are the parts that are intended to be used by one unit, but aren't part of the unit itself, like patios and sometimes balconies. Why buy a condo? For many people, they just don't want the maintenance and upkeep of a home. They might not want to mow, rake, and clean gutters in their free time, or they may have physical limitations which make those chores difficult. Sometimes people want a more urban environment where they can live in proximity to entertainment and restaurants, but they don't want the substantial cost of some of the single-family homes on those areas. For others, a limited budget may put single-family homes out of reach in areas that are convenient to work and family or friends. Condos can fill each of those niches. With most condo forms, you'll have at least some shared walls with your neighbors. This is inescapable except in a standalone unit. A lot of the modern units built from the outset to be condos will have additional sound insulation built in between abutting units and between floors. But sometimes conversion units, which are those that had been apartments first, may not have been designed with that feature, and there can be some sound transfer between neighbors. Most associations will have some rules and regulations as a part of ownership that help to mitigate some of the side effects that are inherent in this kind of lifestyle. An important consideration when looking at condos is the condo fee. Most associations include insurance on the common areas, snow removal, lawn care, and garbage removal in this fee. When you're a property owner, repairs and maintenance come up regardless of whether you buy a condo or a house. The difference with most condos is that a portion of what you'll be paying each month will go towards a reserve fund, which is budgeted for future large repair projects. For more details on this, check out some of the other videos in this series. In summary, a condominium is a style of ownership that people look to as a way to fill a niche not met in the single-family home. It can mean far less maintenance and upkeep, but also having neighbors in close proximity. You'll have some financial costs associated with repairs, but they'll generally be more predictably timed, and the burden will be shared among owners. Finally, there are many different kinds of condos, each with their pros and cons, so be sure your agent is familiar with the unique issues that are inherent in them all, who can help you decide if the condominium lifestyle is right for you.